the gym. It's gonna change our style of jiu-jitsu completely. But taking a break,
I mean, I'm pretty confident that
uh,
if I like, because I haven't been lifting because of the vacations and stuff and
yeah,
whatever, and I've just been doing jiu-jitsu. But I think you're right. It does help that we're both on test, so that's gonna help prolong the
dude, I'm not
period
gonna
of
lie,
muscle degradation. But like, I'm pretty
it
confident
helps
I could
so
probably
much,
go warm up and bench 225 for 10, no problem.
dude,
Or
man.
like
Like,
squat 405 and it'd be okay. But it's one of those things where I'm like, I just need to fit it back into the routine because
yeah,
it just
because you
helps.
can get away from you, and then
Yeah.
it becomes like a fucking habit for sure.
Well, yeah.
But
What's it? What's that line? It's like takes you 3 months to break a habit. Takes you 3 months to form a habit. Takes you 3 weeks to break it, or something like
yeah,
that. So
some of
it's
that for sure.
yeah. I
Okay,
put it in
for
my head
sure.
like tomorrow morning. I was gonna go to Jits tomorrow at noon. Surprisingly, I like that gi class. Actually, it's Saturday at 12. It's after the kids class, so in my mind as well, there's a bonus where I'm like, oh, when Bailey's old enough, she'll go to the kids class, and I'll go to the class right after at noon. Right, so
Mm,
she'll go there at 11. I'll be there at noon. I'll be there the
yeah,
entire time. I'm not just gonna yeet her and be like, bye.
yeah, sure.
But I actually do like it. I've also come to realize, man, I suck at gi.
Oh, I definitely suck at
it's
gi.
it's all
It's
the
a whole new game.
it's all the same stuff. But then as soon as the guy can latch on, I'm like, right, I have to deal with your damn grips. I don't like
Yes.
this. I just
Yeah.
wanted a knee cut pass. Damn it! Just get your hands out of my
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not gonna go to gi. I was talking to my instructor about that, Ross, and then it was like, should I do gi? He's like, not really. He's like, you don't have to. This is really more of a no-gi school. The only reason we're teaching gi is because it's like it helps with the bills, and he prefers just to do no-gi. Like if he can make it all no-gi, he would. But
Well, I
but
mean,
he needs to run the business.
for me, the
And
reason I
in
go to
Langley,
gi is one.
what was that?
Oh, I was just saying the reason I go to gi once a week is one. It kind of helps give a little variety in the type of jujitsu I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
Without hurting what else I'm doing, but like also it's just kind of hard at the schools around here to do 3-4 days no gi because the classes don't line up, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's a little bit different. I got lucky actually for my school. It's a primarily a no-gi school. It's like forced to do gi to like appease like the bills kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. I'm lucky I'm not forced to do gi to be at the school, like because
Some I don't
where
think they
I'm
do that
at,
anymore, do they?
every school's individual, right? Like they
Yeah.
have certain rules that they
Mm.
have to abide by, right? But at least
Yeah.
the execution, like the schedule and what they teach, is pretty up to the instructor. Surprisingly,
Yeah.
right?
That's good.
Like, and I've been delving more into this because I saw some stuff online, and I was like, okay, let's compare to other places, and like, there's definitely other places, regardless of whatever franchise you're in or non-franchise you're in. I've come to the realization, man, it's more about the instructor that you find. And if you find good ones, you're gonna learn stuff, and if you find shitty ones, and that can be anywhere, right? It's kind of like McDonald's. It's kind of like it's like McDonald's. You go to one McDonald's and everything is just amazing, right? And you're like, this doesn't even feel like McDonald's. And then you go to the one on like Hastings, and you're like, this is a shithole,
Yeah.
but it's both McDonald's, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, but I do wish I had a school that was more more attuned to the no gi. Like, there's no wrestling. There's literally no wrestling in Burnaby that I can find.
Yeah. You have to go to like Kazushi. You know Kazushi?
That's the one downtown, isn't it?
Yeah, that one is led by Ben Dyson. He's a European 2019 trial ADCC trials winner and ADCC veteran. So he's legit good. And he trained at Altos with some of the greatest jiu-jitsu fighters of our generation. He's really good, like a monster pressure passer. And then he brought in three, maybe four wrestling coaches.
Yeah, that's
And
nice.
then yeah, it's like they have a huge program there. So we are wrestling 3 days a week. Right now, our junior wrestling coach, he hurt both his knees. So right now, our coach is doing wrestling on the Thursday, and then on Monday, and Wednesdays at 8 to 9. There's Essos. Uh, he's a folk style wrestler. He former collegiate national champion, that kind of thing. And old guy, he's our age.
Yeah.
He's like a little guy, 135 pounds, but he's yeah, 135 pounds. Like he'll toss you
Traps
around.
up to here faster than a
Yeah,
squirrel.
yeah, you can tell. He can tell his years of mango. He's got the Iranian beard.
Oh yeah.
He's And he like once he grips up with he's small, but once he grips up, it's like a palm pack. You're just like, oh,
Uh-oh.
I see. There's a difference here. Yeah,
I'm in
and
trouble.
he's really good. But I can't go to those classes; they're too late. Like, I technically could, but then I'm missing out family time, and
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not at
tough.
a stage that I want to. So my hand fighting has gotten a little bit. Um, it's been like regressing a little bit. So I can't really go out. I actually, dude, guess we should start the pod.
Already done.
Oh my god! So yeah, the the what's happening is because of Joyce's new schedule for work. I
Yeah.
always all the Logi classes start at 6. I'm always late. And what another great thing about my place is that my instructor doesn't care that I'm late. Like I already talked to him and I told him like I'm going to be late like 99% of the time.
Hey man, if
Anyway,
you're upfront about it with
it's like
them,
9.
most people can be like, okay, I get it. We've got family.
Yeah, I'm just, you know, I've been all of May. I think I've gone to class. I've probably done like 3 techniques. Like literally, I've only it's basically open row for me. Like it's like open row for me for the whole entire month of May.
Damn.
I thought that was going to affect me like negatively. That's not been better. It is the best it's ever been.
The
It my guard. I was like, okay, I changed my mindset set just before May that in order for me to enjoy jiu-jitsu more, like it seems like such a obvious thing to like to like wrap your head around. But I was like, okay, I want to enjoy jiu-jitsu more, so I'm gonna enjoy being on the bottom more. So I'm pulling guard with grips, not just fucking butt scooting across the floor. And then and I've always loved half guard. You know, old school guys love half guard,
I
right?
do too. I force half
Dude,
guard.
and well, yeah,
When we were whenever we
bro,
do like okay full guard drills, I'm like, how fast can I get to half guard?
dude, I just open that shit up, bro. I will fight it a little bit if I can get like an armbar triangle
Sure.
or like hompa, but I give it like a minute. If I don't, I'm opening that shit up really quick. It's no point fighting for me. It's that I don't plan on being there, like in a comp. I'm just opening up, and in my mind right now, I'm just concentrating on getting good at one thing at a time, for top and bottom. I might add if something comes to me, I see it, I'll take it in, use it straight away.
Sure.
But for me, like half guard has been like the traditional way of doing half guard wasn't working, so I do like half butterfly and like a modified knee shield. And I got a really nice compliment from my instructor. He said that like I don't always roll with him. I think I roll with him like once a month. It just is like he just wants to test where we're going, where I am, and also he just like he rolls to everybody, right? And there's so
Yeah.
many of us, he can only roll with a certain amount of us. And then we rolled yesterday, and after we rolled, dude, he was like, your knee shield is like one of the toughest knee shields to pass here. I'm like, oh shit, really? There's like 50 of us. I'm like, well, I took that as a compliment. And at first, like, it's hard for me to take compliments because it's being raised by an Asian dad that my mom that just never gave me compliments, or it was a compliment with a backhanded comment afterwards.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, you just left me. I can't even say thank you. I look back about Joyce was saying, my wife was saying, oh, you should just take the compliment and say thank you. And I can't. It's hard for me. I was like, oh, you're just gassing me up. Oh yeah, you say that to everybody.
You
I just can't
gaslight
accept
me.
it.
You
Because
gaslight
I'm
me
always
with
feeling
positive
like
effects.
being gaslighted, right? So like I always have this chip on my shoulder. But and he told me, "Oh, I'm serious. Like you feel completely different." And I'm like, "That's really good." And then your control's so much better now. It's nice because like I've been really working on my half guard,
Mm.
and dude, man, it improved my top game so much because I don't have the anxiety to fight from the top anymore.
Right. You don't have that design
Yeah,
to
I just
stay on
don't
top.
care. Like, oh, I missed the takedown. I don't even fight the takedown that hard anymore because I just find, okay, he's got my leg. I fight the takedown. I'm like, dude, I can spend the next 30 seconds sprawling out, fighting the head. But I just roll, go to omoplata. I miss the omoplata, boom, half guard, and then I start attacking. So, like, jiu-jitsu has been so fun that I, if I roll 8 times, six, I don't know, six, maybe five of those rolls against purple belts.
Mm.
And the only one purple belt is just like dismantling me, but he should be really a brown belt. He should be really a brown belt. He's our stud, and the other purple belts maybe tap me out once, or it's a complete stalemate. And I'm attacking. I'm no longer just defending.
That's
So
good.
it's been really good. And then a couple times came close to tapping out the newer purple belts. So for those guys, we're just back and forth. So it's been really. I'm like, oh shit, I'm like on my way here. And they keep telling me like it's really hard to pass my half guard because I'm not super defensive. attack nonstop in my half guard now. Long leg blocks and stuff like that. Also to my detriment, because if I miss like a knee bar, I go to like a heel hook. If I fuck up, I end up in 50-50, and now I'm in the shootout with like about who is much better than me at like fucking leg blocks. That's why I lose out. It's like fuck, here we go again. But I'm starting to like get better at that, and also to get private lessons on like we can talk about private lessons like in terms of like some people just do private lessons willy nilly like as a white belt. But I think if you should only do private lessons if you literally have a very specific path of where you want to go. So I'm going to be working with a brown belt there, instructor, and it's what we're going to do is specifically train like a Craig Jones style half guard because Craig Jones came out when he first onto the scene. He was mainly a half guard guy, but half guard into leg locks and wrestle ups. That's all I'm doing. It's a very niche path, and I plan to because it comes
Yeah, I've
really
been
easy
using
to
the
me.
half guard to do the leg pullover to go into a backside 50 where you can get the heel hook from. So I either work that now or I work the wrestle up where you go into the front headlock.
I don't do the wrestle up from when I high leg over so from K guard. So I have the half butterfly. I frame off them, and when they get frustrated, I high leg over, push off the hip. I go to a knee bar, and I'll roll over. They roll too, and I'll go if I can't get the knee bar, and then I'll go to a heel hook. And if they what's it called? If they expose their back and the knee part isn't exactly where I want it, I won't fight that knee bar. I'll climb your back from there. I'll take your back from there and drag you back down. And then once I get the side mount, I'm basically on top. Once I get on top, it's exactly where I want. It's like, okay, perfect. So, or if I miss the knee bar, I can go, like when I roll over, I roll back and then back into half guard, but I have your leg now and I have the instep and I just sweep you from there. So it's been really successful. Like it's been the jiu-jitsu is so fun. I never had this much fun in jiu-jitsu.
That's
I was
good.
like, I should train guard more, but I was forcing myself to do like a lot of like pure butterfly guard, a lot of like shit forgot like what's the when you got the head and arm, the shoulder crunch. I wasn't really having that much success, to be honest. I also didn't give it enough of a trial run. But I think for people who want to get better at jiu-jitsu, instead of going into systems that you want, really,
Find a system that fits you.
it fits you automatically. So for me, I was like, why am I forcing myself to do butterfly run? I think it's like eventually I'm going to have to go there, and I want to go there. But in order for me to find success now and give me the time to work on all the other things I'm not good at later on, I need to lean hard into like specific traits that come
Well,
easy to me. So
it's
like I
kind of
really
like
want to do the play lock pass, and that wasn't really working for me. But knee cutting is so intuitive to me that I've just been
I
leaning hard to knee cutting, and it's so easy to pass guards out. If you like, honestly, if you're not a say like high purple or brown, I'm passing your guard. Like I'm just blasting
I
through.
I pulled a U the other day. Was rolling with another big guy. He's probably around 220, 225. I'm 240 now, and yeah, we got big, sweaty dudes, and I knee cut, and everything was slippery and wet. I just went shoo, wah! Like I overshot and was like, oh fuck, and had to come back, and then
Yeah,
yeah, we slipped. Yeah, it was kind of gross, but also really. The problem is,
I tried.
I did get mount on him, and I couldn't grab his hands, so I'm like, well, because it was just like. So
So
actually,
slippery.
I gave him my foot and tried to roll into a. I fucked it up, but tried to roll into a leg lock from mount, which you can do I gave him my foot and I messed it up, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I get it. You gotta. The thing is, you gotta try all that other stuff to realize, maybe it's not. If it's not working right now the way it's supposed to be working, maybe it'll work later. But if you don't try, you can't find out.
Yeah, exactly. You
Right.
got to try it, get crushed. But I like for me, I really like remember like just like 6 months ago, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to do front headlocks.
Yeah.
I'm going to force front headlock every time, and I'm just going to pressure pass and fuck it. I'm not going to really work on leg locks, guard, whatever. Be really defensive. It's complete shift because I had a moment where I just let go of these like ideologies I had, and I was like, if I do the it sounds like so obvious, but if I do the things I don't really want to do and things that come more intuitive to me, eventually I get back to where I want. I want to be on top and I want to do the pressure style passing, but I can get all that if I work on my guard, sweep to the top. So I don't have to wrestle. It's easier to sweep than to wrestle. And I
Yep.
sweep, and then once I sweep, I pass your knee shield 90% of the time, so I don't have to fucking fight the damn knee shield. Or I can do over underpass because when I from half guard when I sweep, I have your leg,
Yeah,
so
because
it's
you're
already
you're
created.
doing you're doing you're doing the half guard the reach under, pull the leg up,
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
the chest sweep. I love that one. I do.
It's my
One
favorite.
one thing, because I haven't go. I don't know the size guys. Like the guys I go against are around 240 as well. And like the problem I was having with you was I just couldn't get your damn leg up off the ground,
I'm
right?
posted on far, man. Post that shit on far. I don't want to be
Well,
underneath. I don't want a big guy to be underneath me. It's like I
that's
don't
the
even want a
thing. Is
little guy
I always
to
had
be underneath me.
I always had the trouble just getting your leg off the mat. And one dude just said, you know what you should do? Like get that, roll your top shoulder in, so you kind of like bring that in tight, so you're around the leg, right? You manage to lock your gable grip or whatever. You kind of roll in and then roll, and as you roll, post up with that inside foot, and you can kind of heave it. And if you can get the knee to your chest, you're golden, right?
Yeah.
Because like there was a guy who was like 270, the big boy. I've told you about him before. I'm like, there's no way I'm getting his leg off the ground. I did that and it worked.
Yeah.
Because you kind of get a little extra momentum by rolling into it, and especially if they're trying to like they want to set up. The only real defense for it is just going crossface, right?
Yeah.
But if they go crossface on you, they're bringing their weight to you, and that actually makes it easier to bring
Yeah.
the leg,
Well,
right?
yeah. I just when I do that, I scoop and when I high leg over onto their hip, I try to get on my shoulder as quickly as possible to go for the knee bar. And I kind of know at this point when it's a failed attempt. So I'll roll back when I roll back. I roll back aggressively with momentum, and your leg the moment your leg is off onto my chest, my shoulder, I got you. And then I'll put my instep back.
So you go straight to the knee bar, eh? Because what I do, I go for
I always go straight to knee bar
I go for
because I need to make it a realistic threat, right? So I have to actually like attempt the knee bar.
I go to grab the foot, and I'll threaten a ankle lock first, then push it over to see if I can get the heel hook if that doesn't work. But I got caught with two fucking ankle locks. I was rolling with the brown belt, and
You leave your fucking ankle out there, they're gonna snatch it, man.
yeah, the first one was my fault, 100%. I left my left foot dangling out while I was in half guard, and he just grabbed it like that, and I was like, "Yep." The second one was half my fault, but also he set it up pretty good, and I kind of saw it coming, and then he grabbed it, and I was like,
How much you see it coming? Like, fuck. Please don't.
"Yeah."
I mean, you grabbed it.
The way my body turned, and I was like, "Uh-oh, no, my foot's there, no," and he just grabbed it, and I'm like,
Yeah, for sure.
"Ow." Yeah.
Yeah, you know when
Whatever.
when you're doing when you're doing your half guard, are you just doing like a knee shield, or do you have like the half butterfly?
No, I don't do the half butterfly.
Yeah, because
The half
I was
butterfly highs your
having
foot,
that
right?
issue.
Because you got the one
Yeah,
leg
dude,
in
like
and
I
the
was
other
actually
foot. Yeah.
yeah, I was actually against that for a little while because I was just doing a high knee shield and like with my foot dangling out, and that was working well against like obviously white belts and some of the blue belts. But then the purple belts were just control my ankle because they knew exactly what I wanted to do. But
Yeah.
if you roll with like them all the time, so I was having a lot of trouble with that. Then my other instructor was like, just put your damn foot in. I'm like, okay. So I started doing that. At first, I was a little uncomfortable, dude. It like only thing you have to remember is because when you put your instep in, so like you're in half butterfly, because you don't have a leg over, like they're almost like not compelled to lean in unless they do the pressure. They can disengage completely, right? And then they can do like a standing pass, or they do like the head down, the inside camping where they put the head down but the ass is high up, so that your legs are further like so far away they can't reach. So I always have a collar tie or a tricep tie, and I keep them in to my knee shield the whole time. So they're like propped. Like so I'm here, right here. I will.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna
I'll
go with the
fighting on this side. Yeah.
same hand
But
as the
I'm always-
butterfly, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to go
But
for
this
the
is the
scoop.
leg. I'll grab their tricep. I'll grab their head and slide it across, and I'll keep them in there. I'll just keep them there. And then we're grip fight here. So there's a huge grip fight battle here, here. And when I'm ready, when they usually posture up a little bit, or they give me space, I'll come up with them, but then I'll scoop and I'll drop hard. I use that momentum and I'll drag them over. If I can't get them, if I can't go high leg over, I sweep across, and I keep.
Yeah, so if
and
you
so
can't
there's
go that way,
battle
then you
from there.
sweep over your back shoulder. No, this shoulder.
Yeah, so I'll
do
high
this
leg
and
over
then
onto the hip. So this leg comes over
Yeah.
with the half butterfly. I'll take it out and push it across. I'll get onto my shoulder as quickly as possible. I go for the knee bar on the leg I'm scooping.
Yeah, the scoop grip.
I'll go over. Yeah, and if that doesn't work, I'll quickly come back. But when I come back, a lot of people come back with just the leg there, right? I come back and I reinsert my hook for the half butterfly, and I sweep. So I kick off. So I hook and kick off at the same time. And if I'm lucky enough, I have the wrist and tricep, I'll just kick them off completely, and
Mm.
I'll get back on top with their with leg here, and then I'll just do uh over under pass
I gotta in my live
or
roles.
which I need.
I gotta force myself into guard more, and I was trying to do that. Um, but against the little guys,
50% of my rolls on
because I'm
guard.
so much bigger than them. It's like if I don't basically pull guard in the first 15 seconds, they have.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like he's gonna take me down anyways. If I try to single leg him, he's just gonna like a child, right? So
yeah.
I've basically gotta just. It kind of sucks. I almost have to be like, all right, good, and just sit down. I'm like, I didn't want to do this, but otherwise you're gonna pull
Hmm.
guard on me, right?
Yeah. I think that
Like, because I
doing
want
the
to do a
inside.
insert into guard, not just a sit down, right? So I'm
Well,
trying to get like a shin to shin so I can actually get in and do a delahiva or something, right? Get set up somehow.
yeah.
But it's against anybody who's under 200 pounds. They're just like, no, he's too big. Da, son of a bitch.
Well, what
I
I
should
don't
talk
really
to them
have that
first.
issue even with the little guys because I guess we have so much wrestling at our place that to the little guys like credit, like even against like big guys, like when I go against or like Leviathan, I'm not pulling guard against him very often.
Mm,
I'm wrestling to my detriment with the 80-pound disadvantage I have. I still wrestle with him,
that's
and
cool.
I think because most guys there, they will at least wrestle like 50. I say like out of 10 rolls, they will wrestle with you until they will try to take you down. Sometimes because I'm such a counter wrestler now that I don't attempt many shots. I'll attempt shots after their fail shots
You,
that
you
live
and me
a
are too similar in this stuff because I'm the same way. I don't. I'll take a shot every once in a while, but I'm like, no, you come. You can. You're gonna come to me, so I'm just gonna hand fight you. And if I get a trip, yay. And if you really open up, and there's a leg there, okay, I'll take it. But like, I'd rather
yeah.
force you into a front headlock or try a pass by
Mhm.
than trying to shoot for your legs. I'm also my right knee's been hurting me, so I don't like dropping.
I see. Well, I've been doing like I said, like working on pulling guard more, but I pull guard aggressively. You know,
Yeah,
I
that's what I
don't
want to do. Damn it, we are too much the same.
super
Because that's
aggressive.
what I
I
want to
mean,
do.
all the
You
time,
got to
and
grab
then
the collar, grab it, and just get the leg in, right?
I just slam into like it's a thud when I go in the half guard. And if they disengage with the collar tie and the arm, they pull up. I go shin to shin straight away. I'm like sitting right in front of the leg, and boom, shin to shin. I just elevate, and then I'm not very good at shin to shin, but I just use it as a threat at this point until I can develop it further, just so they start to scramble.
Mm.
Then I'll get into half guard with half butterfly, or at least like a half guard with a deep knee shield, and then I'll fight. And then it's been
I
really good,
my
really successful. I've had a dude. I'm having so much fun in jiu-jitsu now
I'm
because
having
now
fun.
it's like
I'm having fun too, and I've been having fun because the people I'm rolling with are fun to roll with. Like back in the
yeah,
day,
yeah, yeah.
like rolling with you, rolling with Elliot, rolling with a couple other guys at that gym, that was fun. But rolling with a lot of people at our old gym was just not fun.
It wasn't fun because there was so much ego. I'll be honest. I've been tapped out by like white belts, man, because I'm willing to like throw like out things that I know it's half-assed, but I have to throw it out there to like see if it works, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And like, and then I get caught, and then when do get caught by white belts and like new blue belts and stuff like that, it's usually heel hooks, and I'm tapping early into that, man. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I count that as a lot, like as a submission because like I'm not trying to,
Oh, sorry.
I'm not
I just
trying to
remembered the second time the brown
like,
belt got me in the ankle lock is because I was defending the heel hook and then the ankle locked me. That's why.
see.
Anyways, sorry, just
No, 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 that's fair.
brain firing.
Yeah.
But I get
So no,
it.
you have heel hook.
I
You were going for
no.
heel hook?
I tried to shoot. I tried to set up the the heel hook for me, but I effed it up. So he reversed it and he started to do a heel hook on me. So I went to defend the heel hook with my other foot because I couldn't bring my body up to grab the arm, and he just took my as I got my heel hook foot free, he took my defensive foot, which was now out of position, and ankle locked it. Yeah, so it was really weird, but like it was it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like he was already like 3 steps ahead of me, so I'm sure even if I managed to defend the ankle lock, he would have put in something else, and the best I could have hoped for was to run away because he just. Anyways, I was just I've entered sort of my blue belt dumbass phase. I feel like where I'm forgetting things I used to do well by trying to do new stuff that I don't do well, but I need to. So like as I try the new stuff and it fails, I'm not reverting back to the things to keep me going. I kind of just like, oh, that failed. Now what? Do what you used to do until you can try
Yeah.
something new again, right? I'm feeling
Yeah.
like I'm in that I get to a point and the brain just goes 404 blank. And I had that experience on a Saturday in Gi actually, while we were just doing the basic, the basic sweep and drills. The the basic high leg sweep. Grab
You mean just
grab the
like
wrist,
scissors?
wrist cross collar. You put your one leg on the knee, you pull the guy towards, and you just kick over, and you go straight to mount. Right?
Oh,
Simple.
like the scissors sweep, right?
Yeah, it's a scissor sweep. Yeah, high leg scissor sweep. Easy. No, like easiest thing. And of course, the instructor came around, and I'd already done it like 10 times by this point, and the guy just reversed hands on me, and I was just like, I set up like he was before. I'm like, wait a minute, and my brain just like farted completely. And I'm like,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
sweat it out. And of course he was watching, so I was like, oh, I feel so stupid. I did it anyway, but it was just like those moments. I'm hanging on to them too much, but like sometimes even when I roll, I'm like those moments like, come
Yeah, for
on,
sure.
you you know more than you think you do right now.
Mhm.
Stop it.
When it comes to drilling, like I told my instructor this. This is prior to May. I'm just so bad at drilling. Like you show me a move, like I when I match up with like I paired up with like white belts, beginners, few months in, a year in, whatever it is, and when we're doing drills, dude, I'm asking them questions. I'm like, oh, did you see that? How'd you do that? I have no shame. I just ask because like,
That's good.
oh, fuck, if I don't know, I don't know. And it sounds like they're like giving me advice, and I take it like, oh, you should put your foot here. Oh, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm like, okay, dude, I'm like the worst when it comes to static drilling. But then when I get my drilling done in live roles because like I told you this, the other episodes, I'm really like determined to when I'm working on something, to the detriment of like how like people want to be able to tap out, obviously their teammates and have that's how they measure their success. For me, dude, man, like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work on half guard, butterfly half guard, and that's it for the next 6, 8 weeks. Like, don't care how badly I get smashed. I will get smashed. Go write it down in my journal. That's something I do. Like what I should have done and what I think I should have done. Come back, watch a lot of tape. It's incumbent on me to like do my own research. I think that's a lot of people think that their professors have all the answers, and they do, but it's just they're not gonna be able to answer all your questions, right? It's just like going to
Well, I
university.
mean,
You gotta the onus is on you. And then I come back and it's like test, retest, go study, retest until it works, and then after 8 weeks of doing that, you'll be surprised how good you are at whatever you're trying to do. Like you may not be a black belt, but you'll go from say
you'll
like
improve.
a like a two-stripe white belt. Now you're at this move. Now after 8 weeks, you might be almost a blue belt, like a base blue belt at that move, and that's a stark improvement. I think that's how people have to measure their progress in jiu-jitsu because it's nice to have overall improvement, like linear progression with your jiu-jitsu, like in everything. But that's not how it works. Like this gets better, this gets a little bit better, this might even get a little bit worse, and then over time that skill tree piles up. But it's not linear. Like this thing that you may be super good at for like even years. Like you can go through, become a black belt, and maybe you're like in your gym and competitively you're just like a beast, like a butterfly guard. Then one day as a black belt, you realize at the black belt level, your butterfly guard is not going to cut it out because maybe locally or regionally, everybody you're going against is the anti, butterfly guard like style of jiu-jitsu,
Well,
and then you're
I
just like,
mean,
holy fuck.
I got two things, I guess. One to go with that, like if you are competing or you're training cross gyms, which is advisable if you can do it if you have the time, you're going to encounter things that you will not encounter at your gym. Like, so I find everybody now has sort of like the standard set of jujitsu. It's sort of standardized a bit more after the Danaher era and Craig Jones came up, like, where there was a lot of different things going on. But now, sort of everything, there's like the standard kind of
Yeah,
standard set that everybody like turns into their own thing, but like are sort of the
yeah, the
a
baseline of
baseline,
jiu-jitsu.
right,
Yeah.
of jiu-jitsu now. But like one of our more competitive guys, he's almost, I think he's 18 now. I think he might be 17. I don't remember, but he went to a competition in Vegas.
Right, Naga, right?
I think so, yeah. And I was talking to his dad, who's a black belt at our gym, and he's like, yeah, he got tapped out in like the third. I can't remember what he said, but because the guy basically from north south inverted to take his back, so he was
Yeah,
he had the guy in north south, and the guy like picked, posted, and like folded up over him to take his back. It's like, yeah, well, ain't nobody doing that here, sir. Shit, not me, right? Like, so, like, how can you practice to defend that if you've never seen it, right?
Yeah.
And that's just
You look at
something that
Thomas's
you're
time.
gonna have to expect every once in a while, right? That's why when you look at even the top guys, like 127 wins, 28 losses, or whatever, right? Like that's why
Yeah.
nobody really gives a shit about the high end jiu-jitsu record, like as
It's
opposed
also
to
the
boxing,
high
right?
amount of like matches that people have. Like if you do like 100 matches in Jiu-Jitsu, you're not even, but say it's the baseline for like what is deemed a lot. Dude, you're
I say
gonna have a
50.
bunch of losses. Just like the high amount, like the volume of matches you're going to have. The thing is like you're not having a super fight. You're like you're not going Ryan Craig Jones. It's like you're going to tournaments
Yeah, yeah.
and you might lose in the semifinals every time, by every single tournament. And then, but the thing is, like, you have to fight six other people to go there. So if every time you go to the comp, and it's like you have 5 wins, 2 losses, those losses build up, but still you do with the wins, right? The thing is, and then people's like, well, like,
Well, yeah. If you
if
do,
you're the best, you should be able to fight just like
at,
everybody. But you get fucking tired, man.
at,
Like
at the
four
minimum,
matches in, you're exhausted.
at the minimum at comp, you're gonna do at least 3 fights, right?
If it's like a good decent size,
If it's defense, yeah, unless you're in that one category where there's only 2 people or whatever, but
yeah,
that's
it
just
sucks.
unlucky.
But
So you're probably going to do at least 3 fights, and you go to 20 tournaments. That's 60 fights. That's a lot.
yeah,
That's a
it's a
lot.
lot of fucking fighting, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you go to black belt level, you got like these 10-minute matches. Dude, you fight 5 times. It's like 50. And imagine you don't tap anybody out. Like you go against like high level black belts, and that's like in 50 minutes against high level black belts. It's
Yeah.
exhausting.
Well, I
Okay,
mean,
and that's in a day or two, man. Like a day. You're just like one day of just fucking suffering. Like people don't realize how exhausting grappling is.
people don't. A lot of people don't realize how exhausting fighting in general is. Like
You think it's
you,
yeah,
you hear those people. Well, I'll just punch him. Do you understand how exhausting punching is? Like
yeah,
that's
killing having
tiring.
fucking exhausting.
Like punching and kicking
Exhausting,
is
man. You punch air
tiring
for like
shit. Then you throw
punch air
grappling
for
on
like 10
top of
minutes.
that too. Is super. Like I was in my fourth roll on Wednesday, and just after my fourth roll, and
Yeah.
I kind of stopped and I did that weird like thing, and the guy looked at me and was like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. But I just need to get my heart rate down about 20 beats per minute before we start the next round, and I got to do it quick." And the
I'm always
start of
like
the next
field
roll,
goal.
it was just the laziest. It was literally the laziest I've ever done a leg drag to north south. It was just like,
You do a lot of like leg drags and Toriano passing at your place?
yeah, I do. I do.
You do? Oh, okay.
Our instructor did teach it actually on Wednesday, which is funny because he was teaching this. I'm like, this is exactly what I do.
I see.
I think I know this.
We don't have too many of those. We have some guys that do that, but I think because our gym is like guards are like hyper aggressive. So when you got like a lot of the guys, when you start doing all the Toriano passing stuff like that, like guys actually don't mind that because we have a few guys that when they do get leg drag, they're shooting up to wrestle up immediately.
Sure, I
Like
like
so,
that
it's a little
actually.
bit.
Because what I'll do, what I've been doing lately, is standing up, going for the knee slice. If the knee slice doesn't work, drop back, grab the legs, leg drag straight to north south. Like I won't even bother. If I fuck that up completely, I'll go to the J point and hang out for a minute.
Yeah.
But if I go to north south, then that's great because I can immediately come back to side mount. But if the guy shoots up to wrestle, as I'm leg dragging, perfect front headlock immediately. Yeah. And then I just drag them down. Then I've been working on taking the back, which taking the back from turtle for me is against the better people is not. It needs practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. It's something I've been working on too. I've been taking, if I get you in side mount, I'll take your back pretty easily now. And that was an issue for me before. I used to be like, fuck side mount all the time. And it's like, I can't take your back, so ridiculous. And then but in turtle, yeah, still is something I need to work on. And
Like I know the steps to get the back, but I'm not executing them well.
yeah,
I know you pull the leg out, try to insert the hook, over. You can power half to bring them back to you. Like I know all the bits, but to
yeah,
execute all the bits well is just it needs work.
yeah, for sure. Sure. Yeah, it's hard to like work on everything at the same time because sometimes you're just not exposed to that position enough against like people in your gym. Just because like you're able to get to this position, even if you try to force it, like not everybody's gonna just like it's allow you to take the back. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna let you mount me. I'm gonna not let you take my back. So like you have to be forcing and setting up those positions. Like whereas like getting a front headlock is more easier. Like guys will expose their like when they wrestle
Yeah.
up or they fail takedowns. You'll be in the front headlock position to initiate offense from there, and then side mount and all that stuff like that.
You know,
But
it's funny
oh
because I was listening to Craig Jones. I actually want to talk to. I still want to ask you about something specific with what he's doing, but like
yeah,
he
yeah,
was
I'm
like
all up to date.
the just stand up, right? And the other day last week as we started in Turtle as one of our roles is like, okay, you got to start in Turtle and switch off if whatever, like we were doing a game, and the guy I was with, like I felt his weight come off my hips and back, so I just stood up and walked away. And he just looked so both disgusted and defeated at the same time. It's like, well, if you're not going to put pressure on me
Yeah,
or
just
force me to
teach you
stay in
to
that
like
position,
process
I'll
that
just
first.
whoop, and I just literally stood up and walked away. Yeah,
Yeah. I think like that's a lot of issues with a lot of like jiu-jitsu guys because uh they don't put constant pressure like all the time. So like they feel like it's because most jiu-jitsu guys are like in that position. They're just gonna be, oh, I'm in turtle. They accept the position. But yeah, that like unless I'm totally exhausted, I'm not gonna accept no
yeah.
fucking
If
position.
if
Like if you
I'm
give me
if
room,
I'm
I'm
taking
fucking
a
out of here,
breather,
man.
if I'm taking a breather in Turtle, all right.
Yeah. There's been a few times it looks like I'm just turtling up because I'm fucking so tired
you're,
that
you're
if
really
I
just down here, crunched in, just going.
yeah, basically looks like I'm just letting them take my back because I'm just fucking so tired. But you know, yeah, I'm trying to. Those days are over. You're gonna have to like fucking take it. You fucking take that.
Yeah, no,
Like, just you
just
gotta work it. I'm gonna make you take work for it.
I find the just stand up though also helps me out because then I can have a breather before we reset. Because I'm almost like,
Yeah,
I got 3 4 seconds just to take a breath. All right, reset. That's fine.
yeah, but dude, fucking you take every break you can get, man. You take every break,
It's funny.
and
The
then
funniest thing, if you're doing jujitsu and people who've never grappled will find this out, it's hilarious in my mind because I clock it now just absentmindedly. I recognize it when you and your training partner are both so exhausted that you both get into like, even if you're in a bad position, it's sort of that bad neutral or good neutral position, right? And you're both just sort of like, you tacitly agree to just take 10 seconds and breathe.
kind of yeah, it's unreal. You're both just fucking knackered, and you're just like
Yeah,
and just like
you haven't agreed to like not to stop rolling or whatever, but you've
yeah,
both
yeah,
kind of like implied like we're gonna take a second, right? This is
yeah.
this sucks right
I
now,
won't
so
move. I won't advance if you don't try to get out.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. And then whoever
For
moves
sure.
first, the other person's like, okay, I guess rest time's over.
Yeah, for sure. I've been actually trying to actively not do that because that's been to my detriment. Because we're both older. If I don't push the pace, or control the pace to what I want, whether it's faster or slower, especially if it's in a disadvantage, like if I'm at a disadvantage, like I cannot
Yeah.
wait there anymore, man. Because I don't. I realize that you know the quickness is gone for sure, but my explosive ability, my strength is all there, but my high end stamina is lacking. I felt that was like that it has really been gone. I'm saying not been gone. That's terrible English. That is gone now. So if I'm having a great training session, I need to be in control. It doesn't matter if I'm top or bottom. I need to push the pace to my pace. And even if it's a furious pace, I have to be the one initiating it. I can't. I have to chase rather than being chased.
The one
So
thing
like
I
I just can't let them dictate it anymore.
the one thing because you've always been faster than me in that sense, and
Almost a way like that is significant help.
but to give context to that, most people are faster than me, have always been because they're smaller. I'm not
Yeah,
slow by any means. I probably should not be able to move as quickly as I can, but I'm not fast, right? So,
yeah.
and I don't have that big, Midwestern wrestler speed for some reason. They grow up on a farm eating nothing but wheat and corn, and they can move it and mock Jesus for some reason, right? They've been like wrestling
Fucking
cows and
15,
bulls, and they
yeah,
can,
15 years of fucking trying to pin another man down. Like it's
yeah.
like
So,
epigenetics or like on another level.
so I don't have
Yeah.
that. So I've especially against the smaller guys, been trying to like, okay, you're gonna go your Wiley speed, whatever you want, but that's not gonna dictate really how fast this roll is going. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm dictating the speed, and the speed is gonna be my speed. And if you're going faster than that speed, that's fine, but that's not gonna help you. Yeah.
I try to like make it a pretty high pace, um, especially if they're like really good. Like what's Sam, the other Sam that you train
Yeah,
with?
yeah. That was
Yeah,
insane.
that speed, I match him with that speed. So me and him when we go at it, yeah, I'm going at that speed because if I go any slower against him, because he's so good, I will not be. It will be a terrible day. So I try to match him speed for speed and try to get him on, when I do, which is not often. Try to get him where I have the strength advantage,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then I slow it down there. I can slow it down there, and I try to blast through. He is so fucking fast,
He is lightning.
so fast.
I would
Like
love to roll
dude,
with him again.
so
That was
he's
crazy.
so fun to roll. Watching him roll, he has a really aesthetic style of jiu-jitsu. It's really nice to watch him roll. Like I've seen people just sit back and watch him. Like I don't think he realizes like how fun it is to watch him roll because it's fast, it's technical. Like
It's
that
smooth
guy,
though.
if he had like higher level of strength, bro,
He,
dude, that'd be
he,
fucking a wrap, man.
when I watched him after my roll with him, I was watching him against another guy who's about his size, and
Yeah,
it was so smooth. Even though it was fat, you know how sometimes you see, yeah, they're fast, but it's kind of jerky. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
no, it was so smooth. Like he was just like way was moving through the guy's guard to try and pass, and his legs were just going over and over. And he was just like, it was just
His
so
slow passing is so
fucking
good.
fluid.
Dude, he just goes, yeah, he weaves through, man.
Yeah.
It's like so good to watch. It's so nice to watch him. His jiu-jitsu is beautiful. He has a really nice like style of jiu-jitsu.
Hey
Yeah, man,
Sam, if
dude.
you're watching the
Roll with
podcast,
him,
you the shit, man. Just pumping him
dude.
up.
He's no, but it's the truth. Like
It's
I
true.
enjoy like rolling with him. Rolling with him, you get beat, but it doesn't hurt like big guy jiu-jitsu. It's just like wow, he is levels
You're,
above
you're
me.
getting you're getting tapped, and you're like, this is so pretty. Oh shit.
Yeah,
Oh
but yeah,
man, that
dude,
was so smooth.
he's
Ah, all right.
good. With him, I'm using all my strength to like hold him off.
Oh,
Like
I
I
had to
have to
too.
slow this guy down.
I
All my strength.
I had yeah. Like there was nothing else I could do to him. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
the only thing I had was strength. That was it. And
yeah.
it's one of the few times at my gym that I've been like after I sort of clued in because I didn't know. Like when I rolled with him, I didn't know who he was. I didn't know what level he was or whatever. But he ankle picked me and I clued in and I was like, okay, I think this is going to be one of those 90-95% use of strength rolls just to
Yeah,
live.
I'm 100% against
I'm gonna go.
all.
Yeah, yeah. For me, it was like I'm gonna live. That's all. We got 6 minutes to live, and I'm gonna have to use all my strength to do it. You know?
Yeah, he's really good. He's like a mini tornado, man. It's just like all over the place. It's like he put all his like stats into agility and like quickness.
Yeah, yeah. He's that RPG character who went full rogue and was just like all
Yeah,
dex, all speed, right?
yeah. I'm just like, holy shit.
Yeah, he went.
Yeah. I mean, I think I mentioned that his brother is like humongous. His older brother's like 6'4",
Yeah,
and his
yeah.
younger brother is like 6'1" or something like that, or
And he
6'2",
got stuck at whatever height he is.
5'7", whatever, five.
Yeah.
Five. I don't know how old Paul is. Like
However.
he's so good though. His brother is a brown belt, the older brother. The younger brother's a blue belt. And I'm sure the jiu-jitsu is like vastly different. Just you gotta fight. You have to use like
I was
whatever
having this
physical.
discussion
Yeah.
with another blue belt, and he's flexible and he's kind of quick, and obviously I'm big and I'm kind of strong, and he's the dude who's never we were having this discussion and we were talking about it, and he's like, no man, you absolutely have to use your strength. Everybody's given something different. I'm like, yeah, I would never tell you to be like less flexible, be less bendy, right? And that's the thing. I think people are realizing in jiu-jitsu, you use what you got, like what's given to
Any
you,
fighting style. It's like
right?
telling Mike Tyson, "Don't be explosive." Like, what the fuck are you talking
Yeah,
about?
don't be explosive. Oh,
What?
yeah. What are you talking
Don't be so
about?
strong. Yeah, it's like that's retarded. What are you talking about? You have to use what you got, right? And like I've gotten quite flexible once I warm up, like in my rolls. That's why I can high leg over really easily in the
Uh,
half guard.
for me, it's this shoulder. I tweaked it last Friday, but I kept rolling
Yeah.
anyways, and it's feeling okay now. But yeah, I had to warm it up a bit. But you're right. It is the hip flexors. Once the hip flexors warm up a little bit, I can start doing stuff like that too. Which is the only. I got one compliment from my instructor because I was able to get inverted.
Oh, nice.
And
Fucking hate being inverted. Being crushed when
yeah, yeah.
being inverted.
And he was like, we were just talking about sort of the same thing we're talking about now, but not as explicitly. He was like, no, man, you can still get inverted. That's pretty good. And what he meant was, that's pretty good for a big guy. Like, most big
Yeah.
guys don't want to go inverted. And I don't want to go
Yeah, 'cause
inverted,
you're
but
also
I
against
had to in
other
that
big guys
situation.
too,
So,
right?
sorry?
Yeah. Because you're also going against other big guys and being inverted against another 280-pound animal doesn't feel fucking great. Even if you're big too, there's a you know at some point heavy's heavy even for a heavy guy.
Anything over like 230 is heavy.
Yeah, but
Like 220. It's a weird thing, like, at least for me. If you're about 220, okay, that's still heavy, but it's not heavy. You get up in that 230, 240 range, like that. And of course, I am 240, so I get that from
yeah,
people. They're like, "Oh man, it's too big.
yeah,
There's too much of you."
yeah.
And I,
No, your side like that side mount pressure that you put on is fucking so shitty to be under. Like when we roll again, I'm fucking not letting you come near me. I'm keeping you away.
yeah,
That noise. So,
that's why I
but
like the
yeah,
north-south choke, because I can put all my weight. It's basically the same side mount. People
yeah,
have people have clued in at my gym that, like, don't let him go north-south
just
on you, because if he gets that arm in, like, even if I don't choke you out, it'll be so uncomfortable, so much hurt, that I actually had a guy just tap. He's like, I'm not getting out of this. Like, it wasn't in the right spot. I'm just not, like, we're just gonna sit here until you either let go or the timer dings, and I'm just hurting. I'm like, yeah, fair point, right? And I'd rather get the tap properly, but like,
that counts. That's up to him. Tap is a tap, man.
I get it. I've definitely had moments against other big guys that bigger than me, where they've been on my face. I'm like, I could tap to get out of this. This sucks so much. I just
Yeah,
really don't want to be here anymore.
yeah. I don't know about your etiquette at the gym, but in our gym, we do the smother choke. Like people get their face covered all the time. It's like full ADCC, like comp. No reefing.
We
We're
don't
not
do the hand
fucking
on mouth,
reefing.
but
We do that in
mother's
the
milk,
mouth. Right?
yeah, all good. I've done that. I was doing that to a guy, and he's like, "Yeah, when you full mountain me and you're pressuring me, like, there was a moment where I was like, no, I might just let this. I might just get out of this." It's like,
Like the mother's milk, everything, man.
yeah,
Fucking
no, there's,
everything except like terrible neck cranks. I think like obviously like Gojo was saying don't refund any submissions.
yeah.
But like we do like the cross face rear naked choke where you're just getting crushed, like your jaw feels like
Oh, I've
hard
done
explode.
that.
Yeah,
You
we
get
do
it, and you do
that.
this one.
Oh yeah, it's a pain choke, man. Just like
Yeah,
crazy shit. Dude, I do that at white belts, bro. Not beginner, not first day, you guys, but once you get
it's a little,
a certain
it's
level. That's,
with the no gi, it's a little more free for all with stuff like that. With the gi, there's still a little more traditional. But again,
yes.
yeah, like, when it comes to rolling in the gi, it's more between you and your partner. Like, if you agreed, if the
But
instructor's
why though?
less.
Why? But why though? Do you think it's the people who are just participating in the gi?
Yeah. So some of the
Mindset of the individuals who like, the gi is
there, I think with people in the gi, there's two types of people. There's people like me and more like you who are just like, jujitsu, jujitsu. Gi,
man.
no gi, it's jujitsu. Like,
Yeah,
the gi offers you a couple extra options with the grips, but it's still jujitsu, right? And then
that's how
there's the,
we trained Jiu-Jitsu in the beginning.
yeah,
Like our original place. It was like a aggressive,
it was a
aggressive
death
style.
trap.
Dude, the pressure of that type of jiu-jitsu is disgusting, man. It's painful.
Yeah, gi, no gi, doesn't matter. It's jujitsu, right?
Yeah.
The gi just gives you grips, basically,
Yeah.
places to hold. Then there's the people who are like, no, there's rules to this. There's etiquette and stuff. And etiquette is not pulling out somebody's leg or breaking their neck. That's for me. That's where the etiquette is. Like,
Yeah.
we won't. We're in training. We're not going to cripple each other for the rest of our lives. Okay, that's where the etiquette is. And then there's the people who are like, no, white belts can't do heel hugs. No, you can't learn that yet. No. And what's funny is, at least where I am, that's not the instructors who are doing this. It's like self-imposed by. I could pick out like two people who are like kind of drank their own Kool-Aid in that sense. But like, it's so fucking tiny. Don't be alright. It is what it is. And then you can see some.
I think that if you go into a sport like jiu-jitsu, like, listen, like, if you go into a sport like jiu-jitsu and you're like, yeah, I want to learn jiu-jitsu for like self-defense, for fun. Yeah, I get it, but you need to understand that, okay, one, like I'm trying to be less hardline about this, like the mentality of people, because I do want the sport of jiu-jitsu to grow. Like, it only benefits us, but at the same time, because the bar to entry is so fucking low. Like everybody and their grandma can do jiu-jitsu. I understand you don't want to see like your grandma to have her fucking knee explode sideways and stuff like that. And so like, oh yeah, old people, geriatrics who do jiu-jitsu shouldn't be doing heel hooks and like going to leg entanglements and stuff like that. No neck cranks. But it's like if you if you roll, which is sparring, like in any other combat sport, like dude, they're going to be using all the weapons. You don't go to Muay Thai. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you spar, which is what rolling is, but if you're sparring, say in Muay Thai, like you can't be like no knees, no elbows. Like what the fuck? Are you just going to box then? Or like if you box and you're older, it's like oh no uppercuts, just jab cross. That's it. I'm like what do you mean? Like why are you in the sport?
Yeah.
Are you just should we just jab each other to death if you're like past the age of 60? If you're going to spar, like you could for a training session, but if you actually want to like explore your skills and be good at jiu-jitsu, the whole gamut of moves should be applied. And you just need to be with good people who aren't going to like neck crank you to break your neck on purpose. I mean, that's more like a fucking terrible gym environment than
Yeah.
anything kind of thing, rather than like the move itself. Like any move is dangerous. If I decide to hold on to a kimura and just reef that motherfucker, your elbow and shoulder could be gone. Like good luck. Like having the
That's
shoulders
what always
dirty.
weird. We've talked about this before, but that still weirds me out. Why is an armbar any less dangerous than a knee bar? It's the same thing, but I guess because you walk on your legs, it's more. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think for leg entanglements, that just based on the like how like when I guess my body perceives damage, like leg entanglements, like your leg will break, then hurt, especially like the lower limbs,
Yeah,
like the
you're.
knee and the
I think that's why
like you
when
fuck
people
up your
teach
hip, it's
ankle,
like you feel that.
like heel hooks and ankle
Yeah,
locks, and
heel
so
hooks and yeah.
yeah, they're like, okay, you gotta be careful with this because you got to give the person a chance to observe that they're in trouble, as opposed to like when you get a wrist lock, you're just like, yes, I know it hurts, ow.
Yeah. Usually, but like for example, like I don't reef on arm bars. Like I got two arm
No.
bars this past week, and when I spun around to get the arm bar, and they're like the arm is just dangling out there. You know when you get a really good arm bar, you isolate the arm really quickly, and it's so far up your crotch that the arm
Yeah,
is
you got
just
it right
basically
over the
there,
hip.
and yeah, they can barely grab it with their hands. So and it's just there. Like all I do is just grab the wrist. I can just yank it down. But I gently, I even let go of the elbow to lose control, and I gently pull it back. Or I just hold on to the elbow, and I just gently, and then I will move around. They even sometimes at my own detriment to I lose the submission. I work it back, but the thing is that I give them a chance. Like I'm not trying to fucking decimate his arm. Like in comp, I'll grief it to the point of breaking. Pause there, and then I'll gently apply it until like he taps. And if he doesn't want to tap, I'll let it go. Like okay, I'll break it slowly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like even then, I'm gonna break it slowly. Like I got you. Like I figure if Gordon Ryan, Craig Jones, if they don't have to reef it, then neither do I. Like
No,
then yeah. So like if these guys going against like fucking these black belts who are going against elite level black belts don't need to refit against each other. Like the cost of them going too
I,
gentle against another
I
elite
kind of
black belt will cost them the match. But
think
they most of the time they're not even reefing it. They're just like because they trust their technique and they have enough etiquette. Most of those black belts
I,
have enough
I,
etiquette not to do that.
I think the thought still is like, well, if you teach a white belt to do this certain thing, they don't have enough control not to refit. And I'm like, I think that's the opposite. I think if you teach them how to do it, they're probably not going to be able to get it in the first place, so they
I
can't
mean, just
refit.
show them
But
videos. Like
show
I
them
would,
stuff.
I'll show them videos. Like this is what happens if you refit, and just fucking show like legs exploding. I'm like, yeah, people are like, oh, that
Show
scares
them.
people away, but they need to know. Like if you have a gun, you need to show people the repercussions of the gun. This is what happens if this bullet hits your head. You look like that. You're brain dead. You're dead. You're just fucking. Your brain's mush. Don't look down the barrel. Have proper gun etiquette.
Yeah,
Have proper leg lock etiquette.
yeah.
You know, that's it. like the Aoki lock when you got the shotgun grip. You basically when you have it's like a when you have the ankle, it's a straight ankle lock with rotation. It's like the same mechanics as a heel hook. So you catch the ankle,
Okay.
but you actually want to slip a little bit onto the foot, so it's stuck onto your stomach. The heel is exposed,
Yeah.
and then they can't really use the boot to stick it out, and they can't pull it forward. And then you get the shotgun grip, and you fucking just you pull back and rotate, and that is a break first and ask ask questions
First
later kind of thing.
responder.
It's so fast, dude. When you see, do you know when they do like they break the baseball bats?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that type of grip. You grab it, oh, like it's gone, bro. So like if I get caught in that, I'm tapping straight away, because that's gonna break quick. I got skinny calves, bro. Like I ain't about to fucking get my leg decimated. That.
That's fair. Speaking of
Yeah.
people blowing out other people's legs, we've mentioned Craig Jones a couple times, but I know we're hitting over an hour here. So Craig Jones has his own tournament now. Craig Jones
Yeah.
Invitational.
Well, I'm all up to date. I was gonna talk about that, but since our episodes always come out like 3 weeks, 4 weeks after the thing, I
Well,
wasn't
this will still be out
really thinking about
before
that.
before the tournament happens.
Oh yeah, because it's in August, at the
Yeah,
same day
yeah,
as ADCC. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
excited about that. You see the rule sets?
I heard him talk about it. I like that they're doing the sunken floor. That's really cool with the angles
Yeah. We kind of
and
talking
how
about
they're
it.
trying to do like a 10-9, 10-8 round for the people to understand,
Yeah,
but
for the layman because
for the
they're so confused.
layman,
But yeah,
as opposed to the jiu-jitsu people who can follow the point scoring. The one thing I like that he said though is like, well, if the round's over and the one guy's in a submission hold or something, well, we're just gonna let it
yeah.
go. Let it go and
I gotta let
let
guy
the round
escapes.
continue until either the guy submits
Yeah,
and gets out. I'm like,
I like that. I like that.
dope. Because
Yeah, I
yeah,
like that.
nothing worse
It's
than
three
having a
by
guy in a
five.
rear naked
Yeah,
choke and then the bell rings and then like, well, he was 3 seconds from passing out.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I think the 3 by 5 rule. I mean, like the three rounds of 5 minutes, just like a like a MMA fight, is is pretty cool. It's pretty cool for sure because a lot of times, like you roll someone, you're like, oh man, that was a really fucking shitty roll. I didn't get tapped out though, dude. And then you get another chance, like okay, it's like that was just 5 minutes of you being my ass, but I can get you back. And then and if sometimes you just have a bad roll with someone. It doesn't
Yeah,
deter. It shouldn't determine like the whole entire match, especially if you didn't get tap out. Like it's like you should be able to come back, especially when you get back up to the feet. I think that's pretty cool. Adds more complexities to submission grappling. You can go back, talk to your coach, quickly game plan. It's just like MMA now, but minus like in terms of like what you can do. You can gamify certain things. I
sure.
think that will really help people who tend to be slow starters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it also gives you a chance to get to know your opponent a little bit, right?
yeah,
Because like in most professional fights, that first round, unless it turns into a knockout or just complete decimation, the fighters are really figuring each other out a little bit, right? And it's not until
yeah,
the second round that really things pick up, right? So
yeah.
unless there's just a complete destruction of the other person in the first round, like the second round's probably going to be pretty exciting.
I think like the shorter rounds, like the 5, 6 minute rounds, like in traditional jiu-jitsu, really caters to like um, quick starters.
Yep.
And then whereas when you see a lot of guys at the color belt level, so anything that isn't black belt, you see a lot of like guys who are really good. They get those subs and it's really quickly, and they're basically studs for the most part. If you're a superstar at those color belt levels, by the time you get to black belt and you keep competing, and obviously injuries and lifestyle, whatever, um, like they tend to be pretty good competitors at black belt, at the black belt level. But a lot of these guys at the color belts, when they get to black belt, their style, they can't adapt their style to the black belt time frame. I think it's like 9 or 10 minutes of black belt,
Ten
and
minutes,
especially
I
if you do
think.
like nogi, you go to like ADCC, those rounds are long. Like you do like I think it's like a 10-minute round for like the preliminary rounds for
And then
ADCC, but like when you get to like the finals or the knockout stages, I think they're like 20-minute rounds, dude.
yeah, that's too
So
long.
yeah, but then I feel like that's when like I guess more pure submission grappling comes in, and then you like guys who are like notoriously slow starters can really start to catch on, because then your force as time goes on, if your athletic ability gets worn out, your attrition gets worn down, like guys who can really apply that type of jiu-jitsu wins. That's what Gordon Ryan does really well at like no time limit, and or just longer rounds, like 20 minutes, 20 30 minute round like matches.
Like he can really wear you down. He's got like a style of jiu-jitsu that's really like that is like really taxing and for you, not for him. And then after like 10, 8 minutes of just getting worn down, then he gets the tap on you.
That's fair. I I was surprised that they're going with 5 minute rounds though instead of 6 minute rounds for jiu-jitsu.
Like what, Craig
With Craig
Jones?
Jones, yeah.
He's doing 3 5 minute rounds, so that's 15 minutes, bro.
Yeah, but you get a minute in between each. I know he's
Yeah, but
doing it
still,
to,
it's like three
sort of
rolls in a
capture
row,
the
bro.
MMA fans a little bit. I just thought they'd add an extra
Yeah.
minute in there because, yeah, you know.
I mean, I think they just wanted it to be something that they're familiar with, like because like people are so used to like the 3 5 minute rounds or 5 5 minute rounds
Yeah.
that if they go like 3 6 minute rounds, the people are like, oh, might as well just make it 10 minutes each, or like why didn't they go for the five? Like they just to add like less confusion. They're just like, okay, you guys know what 3 5 minute rounds are.
Yeah.
Here it is. It's like they're trying to feed them, spoon feed them.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's fair. I get that. I just, I don't know. I figured jiu-jitsu is a little different, right? So it'd be a little
yeah,
different. I don't know.
yeah.
I
I,
like
I
the
just
idea of them
overall.
casting it on YouTube for free as well.
Yeah, I think next year if they do it again, like I think they're gonna be quite successful. And depending on the metrics, I think next year even if they charge like fucking $5, dude, and they get the same amount of viewership, they'll make so much money back.
Yeah, that's fair. I
Like,
mean, it is cool that they've got a financial backer, so they can basically call this one. If they go break even, that's good enough because they'll put a bunch of money to charity, which is what he said,
oh,
which is awesome. But like the
even
fact
if
that
they
they're
don't break
trying to
even,
bring professional
yeah.
jiu-jitsu to a mass audience is super cool because
Yeah.
IBJJ never tried. ADCC, they
Well, they
tried, but
did,
they've
but they
done it
did.
kind of poorly.
Well, IBJJF tried to and still is trying to bring it to a mass audience, but they're also just really looking for self-preservation rather than for themselves rather than for the sport. Like they put all this money into referees. The referees got fucking nice suits. They got referees all take all these fucking courses. I mean, dude, it's they all these extra fees. Like oh check like dude, they have all these rules about belt promotions. Like if you get your black belt in like say like 3 years, you are like a legit prodigy, like a legit prodigy. Like you're tapping out like the greatest black belts of all time of your generation at least. Like you're just wiping them out and you're giving your black belt, the IBJJF won't recognize it ever because you didn't spend the appropriate amount of time at white, blue, purple, all the way forward to black.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
dumb.
think like the minimum they will recognize is like
6.
5 years or something like that before you can get a black belt. So if you do look into that and you want to compete at IBJJF comps, they won't recognize it.
That's insane.
So okay, so
Well,
I
I
think
mean,
that's
on the flip
stupid.
side for Nogi, I think I always thought it was dumb that most of them just do it by year. Like, how long have you been doing it? Are you less than a year? You're in this category. Are you between 2 and 3 years? Is this category 3 and 5 years? You're in this category. I'm like, yeah, but what if you've only been doing jiu-jitsu for a year, but you started wrestling when you were 5?
Yeah, like how? Yeah,
Like, does that
what do
count?
you mean? Yeah, yeah, like Brock Lesnar comes out, decides to compete as a super heavyweight. He does jiu-jitsu for 2 years only, and you're just like, what the fuck? And he's going to compete in the intermediate level. Good
Yeah.
fucking lord!
Are you serious? Right?
Like, what are you
Like,
talking about? Look at this guy.
yeah. Like,
Fuck that.
that's why I thought the ADCC when they did it by years, I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, plus, like you could be somebody who did 2 to 3 years or whatever and still suck, or you could be doing it
Dude,
less than a year
fucking
and just be
there
a
are people,
phenomenal
bro,
athlete.
bro. Talk about suck. I know for a fucking fact. Obviously no names. I know for a fucking fact, 100%. There are some people that we used to train with that are now, and that's like fucking 14 years ago, that are now like purple belts, like now still purple belts only, and we would fucking smash them, and we have 14-year layoff. Like right now after training, how long have we been back at like what's it been, eight
Six
months since
months,
we're back? Say 6 months only,
something like that.
6 months, like 6 to 7 months since we've been back. Our
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu has significantly improved, and I know for a fact if we go against some of those purple belts, we will fuck them up so fucking bad, like fucking terrible, man. They got their purple belts, brown belts, some of these guys, because of attrition, not because they had any talent whatsoever. Sorry, that went on a little fucking like angry rant there.
that's all right.
I mean, dude, I'm the of the both of us, I'm the angry one. So fucking bullshit.
I
I
wouldn't
just
say
don't like
that.
that.
I think you're just more you're just more open with it.
I'm very open with my anger. I just don't give a
Yeah,
shit. If I don't like it, I'll say it.
I
I have no problem saying it.
I use my words. I'm angry. I'm an angry man too, unfortunately.
Where you work in the corporate world, so you have the high better. I'm a union
Yeah,
worker, so I get to say
I've
it.
had 20 years of having to. Man, you look angry. I am, but
No,
I'm not supposed to tell you I'm angry. Damn it.
I'm not
So
angry.
instead we
I'm
rerouted to
frustrated.
like, okay, so here's the problem. I'm not gonna say it's you, but it's fucking you. You're the problem. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say, okay, so what are we gonna do about it? We're gonna do these 4 things. Here's our plan for. And then I'm gonna go out, turn the camera off, go into the other room, and go, fuck that guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
white collar world. Sometimes I miss
yeah.
construction in the kitchen where you can just tell somebody you're a freaking moron and you're doing it all wrong. You're stupid. What's wrong with you?
Well, well, even
But
though
yeah,
I said I
that
work
doesn't
in the
fly.
union, dude, it's just I work in the union in healthcare, so it's kind of like stuck between blue collar and like white collar because even though we have the union, at the same time, it's like there's a heavy-handed like administration like overreach in healthcare, and it's
Yeah.
like 80% women, and some of the most sensitive people on earth work in healthcare. I'm gonna go on my little healthcare rant about like incriminating myself where I work and all stuff, but some of the most sensitive fucking people work in healthcare. Is like you think healthcare would be streamlined with some of the most caring people, but the some of the people in charge in healthcare are, and especially higher up, are some of the like the amount of nepotism and what's the word I'm looking for? Unreliability in their leadership is so ridiculous that if healthcare was a publicly traded company, heads would be rolling. Like from fucking on the administration side, heads would just be fucking rolling. Like there's no way some of these people will be able to hang on to 10, 15 years of management, administration, like jobs. Like there's no way. Like you'll be appalled by their lack of professionalism.
Hmm.
It's fucking terrible. And the gatekeeping, especially the healthcare authority I work at, the amount of gatekeeping is fucking ridiculous.
What do you mean by gatekeeping?
Our the tiniest things at my healthcare authority that I work at, or where my previous healthcare authority I work at, obviously like there is a certain level of like administration, like I guess like not secrecy. What's the word I need to look for? What's the not secrecy, but like privacy or like a need to know basis thing that only administration people like need to know.
Yeah.
But like there's a much more open policy between management and like the ground employees, like such as myself and my supervisors and stuff like that. That there was more autonomy.
Right.
It's like okay when the policy the management always has like it's open door policy. If you have any ideas and for change, we'll listen to it. That was actually applied at my previous place, like actually applied, and you were given credit for that. So that was really nice. It's like we watch you, we micromanage less because we believe in you and we want you to have more autonomy. It's better for us, better for you, for growth. But if you fuck up, they will be like you won't be
Consequences.
given stuff. Yeah, because you have more autonomy, so
Yeah.
you have more freedom, but yet you have more responsibility. So therefore, if you fuck up, it's like okay, like you should know better, right?
Yeah.
Because if there were problems, you should have been able to discuss it with us because it's a true open door policy. Where my current place I work at, dude, none of that. Micromanage every tiny thing.
Bureaucratic.
It's super bureaucratic.
Yeah.
Like it goes up the chain. Everything needs to go up the chain. Like and tiniest things like paperwork. Like this paperwork doesn't make sense. Like even if you say it, it's like okay, we will have a meeting, and that meeting with the manager. The manager now needs to talk to the supervisors, and that manager needs to talk to their manager, and then needs to get approved by usually that manager's manager is in my case is a fucking retard and is a terrible manager. Like it's funny, like the
Um,
manager of the managers is like fucking retarded and is a
I,
terrible manager.
I
Running
definitely
that
hate the.
their own
We need a
garbage.
meeting to talk about the meeting that's coming up.
Yeah,
I hate
or a
those.
meeting
The
that
only time
something
I
that
find
can
that
literally be
acceptable.
changed today.
The only
Like it
time.
literally can be changed today,
Yeah.
but they have to go through like a fucking meeting. It's just like administration, like masturbation. It's like it's a complete. And they say, oh, like you talk to some of these people outside of work and in HR and administration, they justify the bullshit that they do. Dude, you're just trying to make the job for yourself to make your job more grand than it actually is. Like this could be done extremely quickly. If this was like you guys do a white collar job, but with like none of the white collar efficiency.
Hey
Like
man,
there's no efficiency. Like you guys should be fucking fired. This protocol is terrible.
we
Like if
can
this was a public traded company, you would be fired at the end of the quarter. Like this is unacceptable.
we
There's no result.
don't
It's so slow.
don't give the white collar too much credit on the efficiency scale. We still have roadblocks
Well,
and
but
hurdles.
there's
Like we
there,
get
but there is form. There is like what's the word? There is like a expectancy of you to perform. Like,
true.
dude, like some of these decisions can take years in healthcare. Healthcare is literally already one of the slowest moving industries when it comes to adopting certain protocols, certainly technology. You'll be so surprised that you think, oh, this would work in healthcare. It's like, oh, but we can't do that because we signed this fucking 5-year deal with this company.
Yeah, that's a
But that
problem with
company
government
sucks.
too. I was reading an article where
So fucking bad.
I forget exactly what it was about, some property development, and like the government needed the money, so they signed like the worst deal that you could possibly imagine, in favor of the corporation who was going to develop this thing, and anybody in the white collar world would have looked at that and been like, not a
It sucks.
chance, not a chance. Are you kidding
Yeah.
me? Like, did you? One of the jokes is like, did you look at the appendix? No. Why would we look at that? Well, it says in here that you can't do this, this, and this, and you can't tax them for this amount of period time. And they went, well, that seems all right, doesn't it? No. Like, what's wrong
Yeah.
with you?
You know,
That's
you know
like,
what I think? You know what I think, man? I think that every single person that work in, not every single, the vast majority of people who work in healthcare's administration side, like in terms of management, not all, but vast majority, are like failed corporate like inspiring majors. Meaning
mm,
people who tried to get in the white collar world
you couldn't
where
hack it.
free market couldn't make it. The guys who had like a true C minus in fucking management now are going to fucking healthcare,
Well,
unfortunately.
it's not just
Because like
healthcare.
if you're good, you're going to the free market, buddy. With that skill set, you're going to the free market, and
More
yeah,
money.
you're not protected because you eat what you kill. And whereas in healthcare, it's like
Well,
you just fucking eat.
differences in my world. You can you eat what you kill, but also sometimes you bite off more than you can chew, which is what I'm dealing with right now. And I'm just
Yeah, for
that's when
sure.
you have
For
to
sure.
adopt the mindset of chopping wood. That's what I call it. Okay, you have this huge pile of wood you got to chop eventually, and people keep adding logs to it. Well, I can only chop so much wood in a day, so I'll chop the wood and then I'll chop some more tomorrow, and hopefully the pile gets smaller, and hopefully nobody throws some gasoline on there and lights the whole thing on fire, which can't happen. And that's when Sam turns off the camera, turns off the mic, swears, throws the chair, puts the chair back up, turns back on the camera, turns back to my, okay, let's see what we're gonna do about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
it's got its own it's got its own ups and downs, but I mean,
yeah, for sure.
what
It's not
like
perfect.
the point you're making though isn't, I don't feel it's exclusive to healthcare because the leadership team changes and some new executive comes in and goes, nah, we're not doing that anymore, and you're just like, I wasted how much time? What? And that's
Yeah,
usually the most frustrating,
it is.
part about it, which is kind of like the complete opposite. of the government, where it's we haven't done anything for 20 years. Basically, the citizens are like,
It's because it's systemic, right? It's in terms of government, healthcare, education, any like sector, like involving government, it takes them forever to do anything. There's so many people who are just coasting. It's unbelievable how bad it is. And that's just why the Canadian government is like it's so shit the last few years. You got enough people in all levels of government across Canada, including the national, including the people who work for them. It's so bad. It's unbelievable how lazy they are. And if you're a government official in British Columbia and you have a fucking problem with what you said, you know, you can fucking do your bit.
so you the funny, the sad is I find there's like three types of politicians. There's the liar who just wants to get in there for the job.
I'm not even talking about politicians. I'm talking about the fucking people running administration in general, man. It's fucking
Sure, but policy does come from the politicians, which affects the bureaucratic people, right? So I'm taking this at the top.
Oh yeah, to the highest
Right?
level.
So you got, and I think this filters down, right? This is where I'm
Yeah,
going.
it's the point, man.
Filters down to the top. So you have the politician who's just a liar, just wants to get in there because he wants to know, like, politician there with a paycheck, right? He doesn't actually give a shit about you or the economy or anything. He just wants to make it, right? You have politician who recognizes the system, doesn't care if it changes, but wants to try to do good, but realizes there's a lot of limitations and he can't probably make much change, but he's going to get in and try to do something. That one's admirable in a way, but also it's the I'm going to
Oh,
coast,
man.
right? Because you're probably in that.
Yeah.
And then there's the one that actually wants to get there and to get in change, and they get in there and they start to try and make change, and then they just get beaten down by the system and beaten and beaten and beaten until eventually they just kind of give up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of that filters downhill, I think, into the bureaucratic process where, yeah, you end up with those three people. The one who just wants to coach, the one who, like, well, we'll try to make some incremental change to make this better, but, like, I'm not realistic that it's really going to help. So they're kind of jaded. And the one who's like, we're going to make it work. And then over years, they just get just smashed by the system and eventually just kind of give up. It sucks.
I mean, it really does suck, and it's just like they keep hiring the wrong people. They keep hiring these people, and they keep keeping the people on board in all these levels of government, where there's education, healthcare, and so on and so forth. It like they haven't shown the results. They haven't shown the results. Like, why are they still on board? Like, how this is terrible management of the
There's-
whole department, the whole entire thing.
There's
Is like
there's another problem
terrible.
which the corporate world has the reverse problem of, which is, okay, this person's in that job, they've been in that job for 15 years or 20 years or 25 years, and okay, we should probably change them out because the results haven't been coming through, but it's going to cost us money and time to find someone to replace them to actually take over their job, and no, let's not do that. We don't want to spend the taxpayers' money, even though they wasted on a whole bunch of other shit, to try and replace this person, right? So fuck it. Whereas the corporate world has the opposite problem where, oh, we need to change this person, right? Okay, get rid of them. Great. So we hire this person to do their job. Good. That person's going to do good at their job. Wait, this person doesn't know half the shit that the person that just left did. Shit, we have a big knowledge gap, so we have to hire somebody else. So then I change them out without realizing what they're actually affecting. That's the difference.
But that's also bad management, right?
It's,
That's bad
but,
management.
but it's a common problem across most
Yeah, yeah.
industries. Like, and it happens especially in times like this where the inflation rate goes up and money's hard to borrow and they have to make their quarterly, so they have to lose employees, and somebody gets caught in that layoff where you're like, wait, did you just let them go? Yeah. Why? Well, they cost this much money, so they just got axed. You realize that was the one person keeping this entire system that does this entire department running, right? Oh shit. That almost happened to a guy at my gym until somebody said, you can't fire him. He's the only one who keeps the mobile payment system running. For PayPal. He works at PayPal. And it's like that. If you fire him, the entire thing crashes. Like,
See, like they should be like they should have known that. Like the fact that they were even trying to fire him.
complained
Like,
about HR before, and we don't have enough time today to delve back into that.
see, HR is like a fucking motherfucker, man. HR, human resources, is not resources for you as an employee. Is the protocol administration policing arm of management.
Yep.
Yeah, they are the protocol police. They're not there to help you. It is really rare they're there to help you. It's like they're there to throw after we're slaving away. They are the physical embodiment of when your boss throws you a fucking pizza party after you slaved away for a month. They say, "Oh, we're gonna throw you a fucking pizza party, you guys. We're a family, think," and then they give you a fucking poppin' pizza, and you should appreciate it. They're the living human embodiment of that. That's fucking
That's
HR.
funny.
I hate HR with disdain.
Most
Like
people do.
fucking hate it.
Like, and
Like,
HR
fucking, every time I
knows
hear
it.
HR, I'm like, fuck.
Most people do. Most HR departments know it, and that's why when you get like we had to do harassment training or whatever, and
Oh,
through the entire harassment training, they're making HR the hero. Like, tell us, and we'll investigate. And you're like, I ain't telling you shit.
fuck you. You
I'm
fucking
not
are
gonna tell
the
you
you're like a
nothing.
rat.
You know how I'm gonna deal
Fucking
with this?
rat.
The way I deal with everything else. That's how I'm gonna deal with this if this is a
Oh, avoid you
problem.
like a fucking plague, man. Dude, you want is something is super fucking evil in healthcare across at least in British Columbia. So if you call in sick too often, like legitimate or not, like you can be fucking legitimately sick, and they have this. And after you call, they have an average. So if you on the hospital as a whole, save like it's like 10% of the year that your people calling sick or something, 5%, right? So you're missing if once you go past the average always changes every year, of course, right? So
What's the
like if
average?
one
What's
year
what would
like
happen?
nobody calls in sick, and then if you happen to go past the average, it's really insidious. The HR will call you or email you, and they'll send you this package. They call it the wellness program, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they're just like, and they're like, oh, you called in sick and past the average of the year. I mean, like, yeah, if nobody called in sick, and if I call in sick, like literally, say if nobody in healthcare called in sick, and I called in sick once, now I'm 100% over the average, fucking zero.
That's
So
how that
therefore, I
works.
am like,
Yes.
yeah, so yeah, then I'm gonna be fucking getting called, and that kind of thing.
What's this
So
wellness?
I've never been on this
We're we're we're
program.
we're, we're running up on time here because I'm gonna go to Jits class. But I'm curious, what's in this
Okay.
wellness package? Like,
They just fucking give you the PR speech. Like they will like, oh,
like
they
take
give you
care
like
of
a package of
yourself.
like how your sick time works, right? So like if you
Oh,
call in sick too often, when you get really hurt, you won't be paid out. Bitch, I got private insurance, don't worry about it. Like, and then they tell you they give you the whole spiel. They give you this fucking whole brochure PDF file of how like the whole thing works. And then if you bank your fucking sick time in case you get like a terrible sickness in the future, I mean, yeah, if I fucking plan and getting cancer, like yeah, it would be nice to be paid out and
um,
all that
we
stuff. But dude, there's some people who literally don't call in sick like ever, and they have like 18 months of fucking sick time, and
that's
then
hilarious.
and then and they don't even get to fucking keep any of it. It's like, oh, okay, and they like they went to work fucking dying. Like, they got cold, or like
we
fucking
we
or they have migraines. They're just suffering because of this
well, yeah, we
propaganda
we
thing.
actually have the opposite problem where people won't call in sick, and we have to tell them. At least in my department, we have to tell them like, go home, sleep, or like this person has the flu and they're responding to emails, and I've literally responded back being like, stop it, go to bed. They're like, but nothing. It can wait till tomorrow. We're not. This isn't a disaster zone, and we're not the ER. It's fine. Go to sleep. Yeah, we have that problem for sure. Then,
See, it needs to be a balance
yeah,
between
there's got to be
what
somewhere in
you got.
between, right?
Yeah, that's the problem. There's no balance,
For
and
sure.
yeah, at least your HR doesn't sound that insidious. I think your HR is insidious in a very different way, and this is
The company I work for, our HR is actually pretty damn good. I'll say that.
that's good. Well, that's good to hear.
I work directly with a few people in there for training stuff, and I will say that compared to some other companies I've worked for, they are above average. They're above board. Like they're pretty good. So I don't actually have much to complain about our HR. They're not very invasive. They seem to hire pretty good people. They do work well with the hiring managers. Um, during during our unfortunate period in Q4, it wasn't HR that was the hatchet man. They actually worked with our. I can't give too much information with it, but they worked well to do as best they could for the people who were on the block, right? And they actually did get a bunch of people new jobs
See, that's a
outside the
very
company.
healthy
So, like I
HR.
said, the
That's very good. I'm
the
actually happy to hear.
HR, like when needs must, like it's no fun for anybody when that happens, and the company just has to roll back because of a variety of decisions and circumstances. But given the shitty circumstance, they actually did the best they could. So I will give them that. But there's definitely been other companies I've worked for that will remain unnamed where I'm like, you guys just suck. What's wrong with
Well,
you?
look, the way you describe HR is something that you will be hard pressed, like from top down, outside administration, of course, because they're buddies. but everybody not in administration, you'll be very hard pressed to find an employee that has something positive to say about HR. Like very hard pressed. Like I would be
In
extremely
99% of
surprised if you
companies,
find.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, healthcare. If you can find one person that sides with HR, it'd be like, oh yeah, HR is great. I mean, like, are you just hired on, Neil, or like, because once you deal with HR one time in healthcare, you're gonna know.
I did
You're
have
gonna
to
know.
go on extended sick leave once because I had my tonsils out. And again, with this company that I currently work for, you can look me up on LinkedIn if you're curious. I'm not going to say it live, but no, HR in my company were like, "Gotcha, your director approved it. Here's the thing. Fill out this form." Gave it to him once, and they're like, "Great," and everything was done. Like they actually made it pretty simple. But like I said, that's fucking rare, and I haven't had to deal with I'll put this caveat. I haven't had to deal with them on anything very serious, such as I don't know, harassment, abuse, anything like that. Like, which in my company is rare to the point of being non-existent. So, but you always get assholes. You got 1,000 company people. You're gonna have a couple assholes. That's just how life works. So.
Well, that should be non-negotiable. If you're fucking doing any sort of harassment, sexual harassment,
Yeah, so
particular, you're out there, man. Nobody needs any of that, man.
for sure.
They
So like I said,
should
I haven't had to
tolerate.
deal with them in anything super serious like that. But yeah, they did that. They're above average. No HR department's gonna be good.
Yeah, fantastic. I just love HR. Glowing review by every employee, the majority.
If
It's very
they get
unlikely.
5 stars, somebody lying.
That's the manager. Fucking give him
the
5
manager.
stars. Or the CEO, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. On that note, I think we're gonna have to wrap this one up. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was a good one.
appreciate you, appreciate everybody listening, and we'll
Appreciate you
talk to
all.
you in the next one.
All right. See ya.
Peace.
Peace.